Hi everyone, so this is another video in our Alternative Pathway series. So today we're talking to Felicia about how she made her way over from biomed to engineering. So Felicia, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got here?
How I got here. So basically I started with a double degree of medical science and sports science. I think I was telling you guys before. And after I graduated, I worked in the hospital as a cardiac physiologist, which is a role that helped with diagnosing and treatment of heart disease patients. This was at North Shore Hospital. After working at the hospital for a couple of years, I decided to come back to university to pursue an engineering degree. So this would be my 8th year of study this year. But yeah, I'm really actually enjoying it. I think I kind of worked in the hospital a little bit, and it wasn't really for me in terms, I don't know, the hospital setting wasn't really something. Obviously it's a place of healing, but I think I'm the sort of person who gets easily attached to people, and I kind of just found it like sad. So I came back and I kind of thought about what I did in high school, and I really liked physics and maths, but I also liked the human body and working with people. And so I thought, prosthetics is kind of like something that I've always kind of wanted to pursue, but never had the chance. So yeah, and I thought engineering is obviously perfect for that, because that's to do with prosthetics. And also two of my siblings are working engineers now, so they kind of pushed me into doing engineering as well. So here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because it's so cool that you had the chance to like go and work in the hospital and get that experience. Before you had that experience, did you have any idea that it might not be the pathway for you, or did it take having that experience to get you there?
I think the thing is I was always I loved all the sciences, not just physics and maths. So I loved the human body, and I thought, because I really want to help people. That's essentially kind of my goal in life. So I thought, maybe medicine and like the medical field is kind of where I should be going. But yeah, I think it definitely, like, I had to go through the pathway, go there and see for myself kind of thing. Otherwise I wouldn't have. I don't regret anything that I've done. I kind of like that I went through there and like experienced it and then come back. I think the engineering degree just adds a bit more to what I've done, really. Like, there's nothing that, like, if I went back in time, I probably would have still done the same thing.
And kind of every experience you have makes you who you are now, right?
Exactly.
So what part engineering are you? What stage are you at in your degree?
So second stage mechanical engineering. So I just got into my specialization.
Yay, that's so cool. Was that your specialization of choice?
It was my first choice. So
amazing. And so I guess coming into part 2, having already done a whole degree, do you feel like you're in a bit of a different position to the other students, or do you feel like you've got any advantages from having had the experiences you've had?
I think in terms of being a bit more organized and knowing how to study, maybe in that respect. But then again, engineering is a whole different field, like a whole different way of thinking. So with the medical sciences, it was more sometimes rote learning and kind of a lot of information, but not so much practice, if that makes sense. Whereas engineering is a lot to do with getting into grasp with concepts, but you have to think critically and kind of design and go through a system of process in which you have to kind of, it's not so much rote learning, it's more practicing and doing things rather than, like memorizing something. If that makes sense.
Totally, like a way of thinking, I suppose.
It's just like a definitely different way of thinking. I don't know if having done a degree really like puts me an advantage over everyone else, because I kind of forgot all the physics and maths that I've done from school. But so that's why I had to take the alternative pathway as well, because I hadn't done physics and maths in 6 years or something ridiculous. So I had to take the physics and maths papers and then got into engineering in second semester.
Cool. So I kind of want to come back around to what you said about wanting to help people. how do you think, because I guess you kind of have a little bit of a different mindset when you're thinking about medicine versus engineering.
Yeah.
How do you envision yourself helping more people with engineering?
I think engineering is more, it kind of deals with more like wider and broader problems. Like in the hospital, you are treating one patient, or, it's a little bit different. Like engineering is, you're still helping people. So it's not like I'm not, yeah. How do you, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I think engineering, like you're still designing and solving problems that would, at the end of the day, will benefit people anyway. So I think in that respect, it's still like a degree that, will get you like to help people in general. Yeah. So
Yeah, kind of satisfy the need to like
yeah,
do
yeah,
good
exactly.
for the world and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's still a rewarding, degree at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder, so you said your siblings are engineers. Did you know anyone else that was an engineer when it came time to make your decision? What kind of what factors played into that decision?
I had a lot of friends who did. So Felicia did mechanical engineering. Some of my friends did mechanical engineering as well. My sister is a civil engineer. I kind of had difficulty choosing what to do, but I thought because I had my medical background degree, and then if I did mechanical, bringing them together could help into prosthetics, because it's more, the machining side of things, the manufacturing and designing side of things, adding to what I've done before. So yeah, that kind of, I was really kind of leaning towards something else, but yeah, in the end kind of chose mechanical. So
yeah, that's cool. Can you think of any time when you were in the hospital and you kind of saw an opportunity for something to be engineered better?
Oh, definitely. So many times. We work with a lot of medical devices, and sometimes like they're not calibrated properly, or there are just so many things that could be improved. And the thing is, because we can't always, because they're quite expensive to replace or repair and things like that. So often I did come to my boss and I was like, oh, this machine or like this thing is not really working properly. Like that's going to affect the patients in the way that, say, it's not measuring properly and we might be over medicating or under medicating. So there are definitely ways in which, that could be, there are definitely so many things that could be better designed, I think.
Yeah, that's really cool. Did you find having to take the alternative pathway, did you find it at all intimidating? Or were you just so set on getting into engineering, you were like, what I've got to do?
A little bit at first, I think, because I wasn't really in engineering and I was really looking forward to getting into the papers that actually mattered, if that, because I was kind of doing papers that to get me there. But like, say I haven't done engineering, Eng Sci 111, but we're doing the 211 course this year, which means I haven't done the prerequisite yet. So that's kind of challenging because I haven't done some of that content. So kind of have to catch up a little bit. But apart from that, I think it's all right for the most part anyways. Yeah. I got to do other papers other than engineering papers, like other science papers or things like that. So I think it was okay.
So did you start part 1 in semester 2 last year?
Yeah, semester 2 last year. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough that I got in instead of having to do a whole year before doing part 1. Yeah. So yeah.
And how have you found being part of the kind of engineering cohort of students? Yeah,
it's really nice. Everyone's I think the mindset is quite different from like what I had before. Everyone kind of works together, like everyone wants to help each other to get there, if that makes sense, because the whole just cohort and the style of it is like it's a really team project, like just overall like a teamwork, team-based kind of degree, I think. we have a lot of group projects, so we can't really
Yeah,
sabotage
totally.
people or anything like that. It's all
Collaborative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the cool thing is that everyone that gets in part 1 has a place in part 2.
Exactly.
And
so there is no like real it's not really
the competition is
thing. Yeah.
more with yourself, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought at all about kind of where you want your first internship to be?
I'm thinking like kind of leaning towards Fisher and Paykel because they have a whole healthcare sector. Yeah, I do have friends who work there already, but not that matters. But like hearing from them, it's such a cool environment. And some of the lecturers actually work at Fisher and Paykel as well. And I've heard so many good things about it. Yeah. So I think and they don't just have healthcare, they have other things as well. So I think it's quite a versatile.
I mean, we're a huge fan of Fisher and Paykel because they fund a lot of
of course,
our projects.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
That's really cool. And I guess also having had work experience, it gives you a little bit of context when you kind of go to look for your first internship or your first job.
Exactly.
And so I wonder, did you learn anything or maybe about yourself when you were working in the hospital that would inform the next role that you would look to have, whether that be workplace culture or the nature of the work you're doing, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think I do really enjoy hands-on work. We had a lot of clinical work, but also in engineering, it's you're making things. It's quite enjoyable, and you work with people to create and solve things using cool machinery. So we just had a week's worth of workshop at MIT. So that was really, really fun. I learned a lot from it. Like workplace wise, I think it's nice to have to be respected in your workplace. And I think from hearing from my brother and my sister who work in engineering firms, they do feel like they belong there, and that whatever they're doing, even though they're graduates, their work matters, which I think is really important. And I think that's something that I really look forward to when I get to the workplace as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So if we think about kind of the university experience for you, maybe outside of the academic curriculum, have you got involved in any clubs since you've been with engineering, and were you involved in any when you were with science?
So I did, I was part of the SAMS, which is the Student Association of Medical Sciences. Yeah, that was it's a very student run. It's a very student based. So I was part of the executive team there at the time. So we had to organize a lot of our own events and things, but it was quite a new-ish club, so we didn't have as much funding and all that sort of stuff. But whereas I'm part of AUES, they have a lot of fun and cool events like Steins and things like that. I've been to quite a few, and like the balls. They're all, I don't know, I really enjoy coming back and like having this student life again. It's really it's refreshing after doing full-time work and coming back to uni, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. I wonder, running on from that, is there anything else that you think you have a greater appreciation for since you've been back to study?
Like just enjoying life, like the work-life balance, definitely. Like before it was like, oh, you gotta be stuck doing this, like just in your room the whole day. Not that that's not happening right now because of lockdown, but like, I think it's making sure that you have a lot of friends and, people, not just only focusing with your work, but also you got to enjoy your student life a little bit. I think it's really nice. I really I really
absolutely
like that I got a second chance to like do it all again.
And that's what one of the other well, she's a recent grad now, said when we spoke to her. She said, there's not that same over identification with grades. It's like my grades don't make me who I am.
Exactly I'm a
person.
definitely yeah
That's really cool. Were your family and friends supportive when you decided you'd come back to study?
Oh, definitely supportive, but at first they were like, why would you put yourself through that again? And I was but I was so set on it, I think, at the end of the day. And it was like, it came down to my choice. Like, no one else can tell me, oh, you can't do that. Or even if someone wasn't really that happy that I was going back, I was kind of like, well, I've made up my mind, so I'm going to just do it. If I, while I'm still youngish enough to do another whole degree, might as well do it. Otherwise I'll probably just regret it for not trying it at all. Yeah,
that's cool. And I'm really glad to hear that so far your experience has been a positive one.
Yeah, so. It's nice. Even though we can't be in class all the time, like in person, online study has been like pretty good as well, because we just do calls and things, and we just make friends through by online means. It's nice too. So
yeah, and you probably end up meeting people you wouldn't have met if we
exactly
were
definitely
so
definitely
there's a kind of a silver lining to everything.
Exactly. Yeah
whole dealio.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that's considering making a career transition?
I think it's just really important to think about what you are really passionate about in life. I think if you're spending 8 hours or more 5 days a week at your job, it better be something that you really, really like. Otherwise, it kind of becomes a chore. And so I think if with engineering, there are just so many specializations within the discipline itself, that there are just so many career possibilities that you could have. I think first year is nice to do because you get to try out different things, and most likely you probably find something that you like. So like, in saying that, I don't, obviously I don't regret having done what I've done. I think engineering will just elevate what I've done even more, because it's such a versatile degree and it's such a strong foundation in general for just jobs and things like that. So
no, that's such a great answer, and it's so cool to hear that you know what you want and that you've just kind of gone for it. And I think that'll get you so far.
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see in a 3 more years.
I have no doubt about it. Cool, thanks so much for talking to us, and we will probably see you around uni hopefully soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
No worries.